In my day, we used weasel grease in our beard, and we were glad to have it.
All right, guys, welcome back. We have more grumpy bearded men, and been getting a lot of great feedback from guys in the community, guys of a certain age group, but also different age groups. Some younger guys, some other owners. Just really gotten a lot of good feedback and just enjoyed our conversations. So we've got Andy and Joe back with us, and we've got an owner, a very special owner. We've got Adam here from Honyocker Beard Company. We are glad to have him on here. He's been one of our good buddies for a couple of years now at this point. Adam, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I really appreciate being asked to do this, guys. I went back and watched a few of the videos, and when you guys had Dave on, and I noticed that he was pretty gracious right out of the gate when he first made his appearance. But there's something special about the guys from that I really got to know right off the bat when I started. And so anytime that I get the opportunity to come back and hang out with you guys, it's awesome. It makes my day. So I appreciate it, guys.
Oh man, we're excited to have you. Joe, you doing okay today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's great to share the screen with Adam. I'd have him on every week on beard therapy if it wouldn't get old, that kind of thing. So
yeah,
he's obviously there's a little bias there for him as a person. I try and put how I evaluate his product on a different level, so that when I'm talking Honyocker, I can still be honest. But you're not going to find forget owners. You're just not going to find a better dude than Adam. So it's great to share this time with him.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And for this occasion, the one that I hoard, the elder, is in beard today.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
I decided to go old school. I almost reached for memoirs, and then I said, no, let's go back even earlier. Then I went into 57. I said, no, let's go even earlier. And so the very first time Honyocker popped on my radar was Barbado Joe talking about the elder and how special it was. And I said, no, that's what we need. That's the one to go with. Many hits after the elder, but that was the one that got you started.
Yeah, I had to use the elder today because I knew that one's a big one for Joe. So what the hell, we'll go with that one.
You got the guy who first reviewed you on here, and Brian, and the guy that first shared a live screen with you here with me, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool looking 2 years down. Well, not quite 2 years, but almost 2 years later.
Yeah. I was thinking about that this morning, actually, that, Brian was the first one to review us. And then, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I'd have to go back and look at the records, man, but you have to be one of the very first, if not the first person to actually buy a product. I'd have to go back and look, but it was that early on because I ran that 60% off thing way back when I first hit the ground, and I remember you picking some up, and that was real early on, man. So that's exactly what I meant in the intro was this. That's why it's kind of a special deal for me to be on here today. So.
Well, you definitely offer a little different perspective being an owner, and especially being an owner that's been in the game here for 2 years. Let's go ahead and get the beard stuff out of the way, and then we'll maybe get to some of the fun stuff we were discussing backstage there before we hit the record button. So let's talk a little bit about maybe about staying relevant, like over 2 years. How do you keep, how much do you want your name on everybody's lips? And like, how do you judge? How often do you release scents and all that? I know it's a personal preference and kind of matches your personality, and every owner is a little bit different, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about kind of staying relevant for 2+ years.
Yeah, to me, that's a real simple answer. I've thought about that a lot over the last couple of years, and it always boils down to just me being me, and not straying from who I am or what I really started the company with the envision of being. So you're not going to find, I'm a blue collar person, man. I was raised in a blue collar family type of environment. It's really a no thrills type of beard company, to be honest. And I don't have a problem saying that. My labels aren't going to blow anybody away. My blend isn't going to blow anybody away. But it works. And so I stick with it, So as far as staying relevant goes, I think it's just me putting my personality, staying involved, talking with people, making sure that my customer service is as good as I can have it being. And continuing to put out product as far as scent wise goes that strikes a different chord with people, trying not to be so mainstream. And I think that's another thing, honestly, that helps me is that much in the realm of like Lux, let's say, there are some things that I've put out that some people are going to hate and some people are going to love. I'd watched one of your guys' earlier episodes, and I believe maybe it was Andy that said, that's how you know when somebody's doing something right is when you don't please everybody, when you're towing the line and some people aren't going to like everything you put out. That means you're trying to be creative. And I think that goes a long way with the way I try to do stuff, with as far as the rate at which I put stuff out. I really don't pay attention to that, because if I tried to put something out once a month, we're going to become pretty standard. It's going to be stuff that isn't well thought out, stuff that has no meaning behind it, stuff that is just blah, and you've probably smelled it before. So for me, I create only when I have an inspiration to create. So if something strikes me, then and perks my interest, and I'll sit down and try to work on something. If not, I'm not going to try to push something that's going to end up being mediocre. It's just not what I like to do. And quite frankly, I don't work well that way. I don't work well grabbing fragrances and essential oils and sitting down and just trying to make something out of nothing. I have to have a vision, and then I put those pieces out of my mental vision into the sense and go from there. So relevance to me, and that was a very long-winded answer, and I apologize, but it's basically just me being myself and letting that dictate who wants to jump on board and who doesn't. And that's kind of just what I've stuck with.
Let me ask one follow-up question. Let's see if the other guys have anything for you there. But do you think because maybe when you started this, like in life, you're already kind of comfortable with who you are and where you were in life? Do you think that made a difference than what if you started this beard company when you were 25?
Oh, I think so. I definitely think so, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that at the beginning I wasn't nervous wreck on whether people would enjoy my stuff or not, and worried about people's opinions. And to some certain extent, to this day, I still am. I don't think it's natural not to be 100%. I mean, you want people to enjoy the stuff. But I will say that the difference is early on, I would have been, man, if I get one negative feedback, I'm going to be in shambles. Now, as long as I get a general feedback that it was a success, then I know I've done what I needed to do. And to begin with, none of this gets going if I don't like it myself. So if I make something, whether it's a new product or just a new scent, if it doesn't work for me and I don't like it myself first, I'm not going to put it out. So I kind of lie to myself and say, well, if I like it, then there's got to be others that will like it. Maybe not everybody, but there's got to be some others that will,
There's got to be some truth there.
Yeah. So it's all just like I said, just a going at my own pace, making sure that I'm not, and a lot of people have asked me all the time, Adam, have you tried this? Or Adam, have you tried this brand or that brand? And unfortunately my collection has grown slowly, but I try to limit those purchases because I've said it many a times, I don't want to be influenced at all. So it's not against any other companies because I know they're good and I know that they probably put out phenomenal products, some better than mine even. I'm not a narcissist and going to sit here and tell you that Honyocker is the best thing since sliced bread. But at the same time, it keeps me from knowing what everybody else is doing. Therefore, I always work with a clean slate, so to speak.
Yeah,
so.
I kind of do the same thing now. I don't watch a lot of beard product reviewers. I mean, do product reviews. I'll get in live streams and watch some other kind of specialty videos. It's kind of a similar thing. Joe, you got something?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, in writing, it's very similar in that usually writers, when they begin to write, mimic a voice that they have enjoyed until they find their voice. And so Adam's kind of doing it on the inverse in that he doesn't want to be too influenced by having too much stuff come in. And I totally get that because, Adam has said many a times he approaches this as a creative process for him, as an artistic process. I mean, yes, there's a business side to it, but when he, like he said, he doesn't just sit down and start tinkering in the lab. It's got to be inspiration before perspiration. And so that I can totally identify with. And regarding your labels, Adam, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're not going to blow anybody away in the sense that there's some great packaging out there, but you got two cool things. Firstly, your hillbilly hot Honyocker dude, that guy's a classic. That's instantaneous magnetism. And those green bottles with the gray label, I think that's a nice combination. And just the subtle shifting of the print in the banner, that works, man. Simplicity is good too.
Yeah, and once again, that just mimics my personality, right? I'm just a normal blue collar person. I'm not a flashy person. So, I think you will see in beard product packaging and things, whether we know it or not, we're probably seeing a little bit of insight into the owner's personality, so to speak. Because, obviously you have to think of what you want on those labels. You have to think of how you want it portrayed. So when you see these things, I think whether we're putting that two and two together, I think it's a symbolization of the owner's personality in some aspects. At least I would think so, because I know in my case it is.
Andy?
Well, for me, what's interesting, all right, so I talked to a fair number of owners about scent building because I always get scent ideas. The one thing about Adam that is completely different, if not about trying to come up with that magical combination of ester, it's about, okay, picture this. So I try to give him the visual, and then he tries to turn it into the olfactory. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what I think. That's kind of that's the way I present things to him. And I don't know if any of my ideas have ever inspired him or not. And again, whenever I talk to somebody about scent, it's just, hey, this is an idea. If you like it, run with it. If you don't use it, hey, to be honest with you, in 2 weeks, I probably won't even remember what we talked about. But I just had that flash and I wanted to share it with somebody. But he's always been really receptive about that. Another thing I really, really love about Adam as a person is there are so many owners out there that people in the community, whether they be influencers, reviewers, the one single tester out there, whoever, there's so many owners that you kind of get gun shy after a while because you're kind of waiting for them to get into some kind of foolish drama. And with Adam, that never happened. He's had reviews that didn't go so great, and he just kind of blew it off and kept going. And so for me, if I'm picking a ride or die company, a company that, yep, this guy is staying on my shelf until he quits making it or I die. That's why Adam gets on there, because he's constantly trying to figure out new profiles, but they're rooted in reality, the real world, not, hey, this is what's hot and trendy. And 2 years from now, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I wore that. And because of COVID, he got his yacht tattooed before I did. So, hey, you got lucky. Because, man, if not for COVID.
A bigger one, Andy. Make sure yours is bigger.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get it right there. I'm gonna get the hillbilly right there. And that was the plan all along. But I didn't tell him that because I didn't want him stealing my idea. So he got it on his knuckles.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you, it's all those things are so nice to hear, and they're very humbling. And realistically, that's why I enjoy doing this. The Joe mentioned it earlier. Yes, I have to make money at this because now I do this full time. But if I'm not enjoying it, then I'm not going to make any money to begin with. But I want to make sure that everybody understands, that I don't give a damn if you buy a sample pack, 1 bottle, 10 things, man. Like, you're part of Team Honyocker now. And I appreciate that. Emily and I appreciate that. So, even if we don't grow any more than we are, then you know, I'm not going to try something that is not me. And we'll just, like Andy said, we're going to ride with the way we are, you know. And
so you're full time doing this? I missed that memo.
yeah, I've been doing this full time since early last year, man.
Really?
Yeah.
No more gym or anything like that?
Nope.
Wow.
So
how did I miss that?
Oh man, well, you know, it's not one of those things. And like I said, man, like I'm a very introverted person. I know sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but you know, I try to keep the stuff that who really gives a crap about out of the limelight. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. Nobody cares whether Adam's wearing Levi's or some, you know, high dollar brand of jeans, you know? So I try to keep a lot of that stuff, just whatever, and just keep it where it's supposed to be. You know, and plus, man, you know, like just because I do this full time, I don't need people going, oh, well, he thinks his shit doesn't stink now. He's obviously big enough to where he can do this full time. And that's not the case at all, because I'm not really big enough to where I'm sitting here rolling with a Ferrari out in my driveway. You know what I mean? I mean, we get by, you know, put it that way. So
that's awesome.
There ain't no such thing as a good case of hemorrhoids.